This is what we live for. It isn't how can I make myself better, it's if I go hiking this weekend, how many Instagram likes could I get if I take a selfie next to a tree? Our image is everything, and if you pay attention, you'll see the lengths people go to maintain this. Virtually everything you do is in anticipation of how someone else is going to react.
You matter?
To be honest with you, I honestly, I don't think so.
You don't think you matter?
I'm gonna be completely honest. You see all these people around here is like, what makes me different from everybody else? Besides race and all that.
I don't know, your bubbling personality.
How do you know I have a bubbling personality? I just met you. This is the first time I'm meeting you besides watching your videos. Yo, you know my friend's gonna be jealous when he sees this. Hey.
Wait, why you...
Yes, I matter. Do you matter?
I hope so.
You should believe so.
Why do you say that?
Because you have to know you matter. You have to know that you were put on this earth for a reason. You have a destiny to follow. That's what I believe. It may be corny.
That sounds pretty Disney movie.
That's why you didn't let me finish.
You know that guy who says he doesn't give a fuck about what people think, or, you know, don't get offended if you don't like my beliefs, shit like that? That guy does care. They all care. He just wants people to think that he has a personality too. So don't be that cunt, please. Just be a different guy. Don't be that guy. Let me show you an example of this. I found a tweet here, and it reads, "I love how strong I am now." There are two options here. Either one, it's a dude who went to the gym twice and can now bench 85 pounds, or it's a girl in her late teens who wants attention. I prefer the latter. I'll go with the latter. And yes, I was right. And from this selfie in her profile picture, I swear to God on my life, I guarantee you within 10 seconds, I'm not cheating, I will scroll, and I will find you a selfie that either says, "I'm a loser, I'm a nerd," or "me too." Here we go. God damn it. God damn it. So let's jump in her mindset here. Nobody's actually buying that she thinks she's a nerd, and she knows that too. But in 2015, it's not cool to seem like you're trying hard. So, alone in her room putting on makeup at 8 p.m., she's wondering, how can I get attention for the next few hours? She has to feel important for the rest of the night. So what she does is she scans her room. Voila, she sees her glasses on her desk. That's a prop for a selfie. LOL, nerd. She won't post a picture of herself chugging Mountain Dew and sucking Dorito stains off of her fingers while, you know, going to town watching anime from the early 2000s. Now, the glasses are enough of a prop for this picture. But that's just on the internet. Everybody says that. We spend time crafting this image of ourselves with filters, music quotes, and edgy tweets. It's pretty much like making a Sims character. How you see me on YouTube is this person that I create through hours and hours of hard work. I script literally everything I say and edit it in a program. You have no idea what I'm actually like. For all you know, I could be a YouTube drone created by Google to scare you away from the YouTube you don't have to pay for. In real life, people view me as a kind of wannabe, sometimes annoying, slightly funny fuckboy. And you know, subconsciously I spend a lot of my time perfecting that image.
We missed the old Sneako chat. What do people mean by that, you might ask? The Sneako we remember wasn't a grifter or a pushover. Remember Sneako being somebody who aligned himself by himself, bringing up content, creativity. You know, we remember Sneako being the Mr. Beast protege who got away from Mr. Beast because he knew that he can do it on his own. And it's crazy that, you know, now you see Sneako align himself with all these anti-Semitic, you know, racist, misogynistic, and you see the grift, you know, you see the grift, and now you might say, why is Sneako a grifter? You know, we used to think that Sneako would be this, you know, just this creative guy who wouldn't even need to be grifting off. And then you seen him start streaming. And maybe that was him true self, like he said in his old videos. He scripted himself. We don't know who he really is. Maybe this is who he really want to be this whole time.
It's
Maybe he
clear,
always
watching
wanted
back
to be
here,
a
it's actually
grifter.
This is well organized. You can see why that red pill era happened.
Yeah, there's a through line. You can see and I think one thing that's cool about the way you kind of documented your life is you were very open. And so my description, and I wrote a sentence. It's Sneako is openly flawed, self-aware and arrogant, humble enough for curiosity, and daring enough to take chances. So that's my perception when I watched the first arc of your content creation from kid to about 2020 when you did the video before the red pill, How to Be a Man. You were aware of your own flaws. You may not always have the correct conclusion or whatever, but you could see the thought process. You could see how you got there. You could see your justification, your reasons why. You could see that you try to see things from other people's perspectives to a degree. And like it makes sense how you ended up in the red pill era afterwards. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the question I would ask you first, what did the red pill give you that you didn't have before?
Well, I think men at the time, and in these videos you're showing, men on the internet especially were living in a liberal-dominated, woke-dominated, like men had to live in this kind of guilty, you know, white people say, or like, I'm one of the good ones, or like white boys will say, can a white boy catch a vibe? It was kind of that same thing with men. It was like, hey, I'm not one of those misogynist, horrible men, and gave men the opportunity to not live in a guilty place.
Sneako openly flawed, self-aware, and arrogant. Humble enough for curiosity, daring enough to take chances. What an amazing sentence by ABBA. That was perfect to the T as far as how I understood it. Self-aware and arrogant. Sneako was openly flawed. When we look back on Sneako, he was able to go out and tell us his openly flawed things and the things that he motherfucking looked at that was a flaw, that he knew that was a flaw. Not necessarily he was trying to change it, but he was open and aware to it. You know, now we see once he started hanging with these other people, these grifters, there's other people he aligned with. We know who he aligned himself with. When he started trying to be they puppets and they doggy, we start realizing that Sneako, what happened to this openly flawed, self-aware guy? Why did you just start letting people just push over, say anything, do anything, act like a monkey around you? Just all type of crazy madness. Like, was you not aware at this moment anymore? Did you not motherfucking care about things? You know, he said he was humble enough for curiosity, daring enough to take chances. These chances is the ones you decided to take, not the chances that you might have talked about in your old videos where it didn't come to demeaning yourself. I don't know, man. It's a little crazy.
That's a statistic I made up, and it sounds pretty reasonable. When I say kid, I mean as a teenager or young adult. I can't say that, I'm not white. I used to want to be a professional soccer player, but every 10-year-old wants to be a pro, whatever shitty sport their parents made them play. When I was 11, I wanted to be a doctor because that's what my Filipino grandparents said I wanted to be. One of the very few stereotypes I actually have. But now as a 15-year-old, my dream job is to be a comedian. I know it's not realistic, and I know it's probably not going to happen, but that's why I call it a dream job. But that's just what I tell people. I actually think I could become a comedian if I really tried. It has nothing to do with that follow your dreams Disney bullshit. I really believe that if you're motivated to do something that you're good at, you can do it. Being a comedian isn't just standing in front of a brick wall and telling jokes. It's also what I do now. This is comedy. Admittedly a strange form of it, but if you look at it, I'm entertaining thousands of people through comedy every day. I'm a comedian right now, and if it were a job, it'd be incredible. It's depressing to think how few people actually end up doing what they love doing. If you look at the most successful humans of all time, they were all ambitious and visionary. Most teenagers are like this. We have our entire futures ahead of us, and at this moment in our lives, our adult life is approaching. So far, our entire lives have been devoted to learning what it takes to become a successful adult, and as a teenager, this is finally right around the corner. We don't have anything holding us back. Kids, rent, taxes, any actual responsibilities. If we put our mind to it, we can become whatever we want in 5 years. But like I said, 80% of us won't. That's how life works. People throw the term selling out a lot, and I believe that if you accept a dead-end fucking job to pay your bills, you're selling out. It's not like you can accomplish your dreams later on in life. This is something you can't procrastinate. You actually have to do it. Those conversations you have when you're 40 about what could have been, should have been. You only live once, and no matter what rap lyrics will tell you, that doesn't mean getting hammered out of your mind every Friday. Do you want to finish your life with regret? Then just get off your ass and fucking do something.
Remember when you were defending Fresh and you went to war with Moist Critical? And now that dude's on his podcast trying to put a hit on you? That's crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's crazy. I mean, you were running around with a gun, like, you had the world hating you. And I was like, damn. And that same dude is like, it was Sneako. He played Sonic Club.
It's kind of ironic how the Mr. Beast protege turned into the Andrew Tate puppet master, not even master, Andrew Tate puppeteer, Andrew Tate apprentice boot sucker, Andrew Tate shoe cleaner, Andrew Tate dog walker, Andrew Tate store runner. I don't even know. Red Pill, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Fresh and Fit, Cum Bucket. Okay, let me stop. Alright, but it's kind of crazy how ironic that Sneako went from this guy that we all thought was like someone who was really self-aware. He was someone who was like arrogant but self-aware. He went from being someone like that to someone not even being self-aware to the things around him, letting people just use him, get around him, soak up all his clout, motherfucking spit it back at him. He's around people that don't even fuck with him. And the whole time we thought that Sneako was a guy who was like a death before dishonor, but this whole time he has been someone who's dishonorable. He doesn't care. And we probably had high expectations of him. So when we say we miss the old Sneako, what we actually miss is what we thought he was. And it's a sad reality that what we thought Sneako was is not who he really is. So we can't miss what we thought he was. Sneako is what he is right now. The misogynistic, not self-aware, not even humble enough anymore. He don't even now he's even the jokes, you know how he say he thought being a comedian. Now when people do jokes, now it's a problem for Sneako.
said that.
My point is, I don't think that you talk about me the same way you would talk about Speed or Kai.
They're not, Sneako, you know I don't talk to them at a close level. I speak to you every day, right or wrong?
Even then, I still don't think it's the same way. I'm not trying to, that's okay.
Sneako, you're my close friend. We speak every day. I don't speak to Kai and Speed. What?
I want to talk about my friends highly. Like, I want there to be, especially when they're not around and especially in situations like this.
I expect the same thing. Don't say, oh, Aiden Jew, all this. Don't do that then. See what you're doing?
Don't do Aiden Jew what? What are you talking about?
Do not do this thing where you need to be consistent. Meaning, are you
where am I inconsistent?
You just try to compare Kai and Speed to you. Bro, no, that's way different. Compare you to like Cheezer or Cuff'em. We all crack fucking jokes. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with cracking jokes with your friends. I'm close with you. I'm gonna crack jokes with you. You're gonna crack jokes with me. What the fuck? It's not rocket science. We're friends. We speak every day. I don't speak to Kai and Speed every day. How could you compare that? It's way different.
Hey, Abba, they were talking a bunch of shit about us. What do I do? He called me a window licker.
We're on it. We're gonna clip it. We're gonna call them racist. We'll be fine. We'll make it through this. Don't worry. Just dance.
Wait, did you say?
Involved something like this, yeah. So guilty by association, it's the first thing they're gonna say. You hung out with these guys. When I watched the video, Andrew, with you and them, Tristan looks extremely uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay. And the way you were smiling, because I saw a lot of everyone's texting me. You know, you and I communicate. We have conversations together. You looked extremely uncomfortable as well. You're smiling, but you're not. You know already what's going to happen. It was almost a look where I said, Tate knows what's about to happen next.
Yeah, the shock value really isn't worth it to me. I mean, I've said some shocking things, and people will believe my brand is built on shock value, but I think they're at least shocking opinions. I like to think that I'm sitting there saying, this is my opinion, you may find it shocking, but this is what I truly believe. These are my worldviews, and perhaps there's a lot of people who agree with me, disagree with me, but to just shock and offend purely for the purpose of shocking and offending, I think that that's something that has plagued the internet for a while, but it's getting worse.
Now even the people he aligned himself with, even the people that he wanted to be around so badly and wanted to justify their actions so much, now even they turned their backs on him. Now what grift is he gonna do now? That's what we wonder. What grift, where would he go now? See, he should have just stayed original and stayed the loyal person to himself, but instead he wanted to grift off and go be accompanied by these losers, these weirdos. But that's neither here or there, because now he already made the bed he lie in, so now he gotta just thug it out, like some would say. Grow up and be a man. That's what he would tell his old self, so why ain't he telling himself that now? Come on, Sneako, grow up and be a man. The old Sneako will never be here again.
They're the shit and wait for something to happen to them. It doesn't fall into your lap. You gotta take it. What pissed me off after working with Mr. Beast is I always thought I was better at making videos, yet he's the one on track to be a top 10 YouTuber of all time. I got all jealous when he fired me and I made this hate video exposing him, and then I had to delete it when I realized that he blew up because he put in work. He actually went through the effort of doing it over and over again, and I never did. I'm turning 20 pretty soon, and I realized I spent most of my teenage years getting high, fucking bitches, and laying around when I could have been grinding my ass off doing something that I'm really good at. Mr. Beast might not get laid as much as I do, but money's gonna get you laid more than your looks, no cap. And that's what got to my head from early on. When everybody knew that my channel was gonna blow up, people like Chaos Silencer, Tryhard Ninja, Keemstar, everybody knew it. Everybody said it. I'm like, I don't need to work anymore. It's just gonna happen. For all the procrastinators out there like me who are probably watching this with their laptop on their side, chips on one, phone charging on the other, it's not gonna fall into your lap. You gotta do it. Stop blaming your shitty life on everything. It's you. It's nobody else. And you're not gonna get out of the situation until you realize that it's nobody but you. Everyone has their own demons, their own problems, their own struggles. You're not special. Get the fuck up and fix it. I wish I could tell this to myself when I was 15. What am I even doing lecturing you? I gotta do it for myself first. Matter of fact, let me go edit this video.